I used to go for parent-teacher interviews, and I'm not going to pretend that I loved them because I didn't. But one of the things, I wrote about it in my little book, one of the things that I found very interesting was that whenever I went to the parent-teacher interview, and of course they're a very short period of time, I remember some of them you got 8 minutes, okay, and there's a lineup, okay, and so you get there and you sit down. I used to treat me actually, especially in the small grades, they gave the parents the little chair. Yeah. So you sit down on the little chair, okay, and the teacher's sitting on the desk, okay, and says, well, let's begin with the problems he's having in, okay. So I changed my approach to parent-teacher interviews, and it worked wonderfully for me. Before I would go to the parent-teacher interview, I would say to the child in question, I would say, now, I really need you to help me out with this. I'm going to talk to your teacher tonight, and I need to know, what is it that you like about your teacher? Now, I remember the conversation with Chris, to which he replied, there is nothing to like about her. I said, there must be something, okay? And does it sound like a 13-year-old? There must be something, I said. What does she do that you are grateful for, that you appreciate? And I remember he said this to me, such a little thing. He said, well, if you forget your calculator, right? And I don't know if he ever remembered his calculator. If you forget your calculator, she'll lend you one. I said, that's good enough for me. So I went into the parent-teacher interview, and when I sat down with the teacher, I said, you know, before I came in here, I chatted with Chris, and I asked him what he liked best about you. Okay? And would you like to know what he said? Well, you can almost see her go. He said, well, yes. And I said, he told me that when he forgets his calculator, you'll lend him one. And I want you to know that not only does he appreciate that, his dad and I are very grateful to you. So tell me, what do you like best about Chris?
Wow.
Well, she was more shocked probably than Chris was. Okay? But she managed to stumble something out about his sense of humor. Okay? And you know, I still remember, it's a turning point for me with parent-teacher interviews, because it changed the whole nature of what we were going to talk about. Because what I've learned about making every day a positive day is that we have to be in that day. Okay? I call it getting out of the past and into the future. Okay? We can't undo what's already been done. That may be the problem. The solution is, what are we going to do to make it better?